Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, Councilman Crear is sworn into office, and a new exhibit offers more fun for your kids at the Discovery Children's Museum. Here to discuss these topics and much more is the councilman who represents Ward 5. Congratulations on your win on the April 2 primary.
Yes, I tell you, it's great to be back. And it's been a long time. You didn't realize how long time flies until I saw we're going back on Access today. So I'm very happy and very blessed to be back.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For folks that don't know, in Nevada for our municipal elections, if you get 50% of the vote in the primary, then you're declared the winner. So Councilman Crear and the mayor won very easily on April 2nd. So they were sworn into office. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But congratulations for 4 years. And
Thank you. You know, I say we won definitively. I wouldn't say it was easy, but we won definitively, and we'll take that. And it's just nice to have a primary election on our shoulders and moving forward with the work of the ward. So it's great.
Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations to you. We'll talk more about the swearing in just a minute. For those of you that don't know where Ward 5 is located, hey, don't worry. We're going to show you. It's right in the center of everything. It includes part of our downtown.
It does.
And then it really extends out. It's got an arm that goes up into the northwest. So if you live in that area, work in that area, then you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And for the next 4 years, you're going to be represented by Cedric Crear.
Yes.
So, Council, I want to start off with maybe a little bit of a somber note. We lost one of our community leaders, someone who we've known very well here at the city, someone you knew very well in our community, and we're talking about Tyrone Thompson.
Yeah, you know, Assemblyman Tyrone Thompson, a good friend of ours. A person who worked at the city, worked for the county, served honorably in the Nevada State Legislature, passed. He recently had his going home ceremony, and it is just a big void in the city. Tyrone was just an all-around good person.
Yeah.
And if I haven't heard one person say one thing bad about Tyrone, because no matter what, he cared about our community, and he cared about serving. He served proudly, and we're definitely going to miss him. Like you said, it'll definitely be a void in our community.
He was a good public servant and just a good person.
Yes, no doubt about it. We're going to miss him.
All right. Well, best his family, and our thoughts and prayers with you, for sure.
Yes, without a doubt.
Well, Councilman, let's show that swearing in. We talked about you being sworn in for the next 4 years. You posted this on Instagram, excited to get to work on my first official term.
Yes.
So, you know what? It's one of those deals where I'm not messing around. I'm getting to work here. So, and that's exactly what you what you said that day, and what you've been doing since then, too.
Yep. Well, I tell you, we won the special election, and we got sworn in April the 18th. And once you get sworn in, you go right to work.
Yeah.
And we were doing the work of the ward since then, and it's just great that the people have endorsed us in what we're doing, as well as endorse us to move forward to execute on the strategies that we've created. Yeah. And now it's about execution. And so you're going to see a lot of things happening in our community. We have our Ward 5 Works program. We have our homeless initiative that's taking place, our 100 plan for the revitalization of the historic West Side, parallel paths of all three. And so it's just getting to work. One thing that has happened, we won the 4-year term, but there's no doubt about it that we have not taken our foot off the pedal. We have been pressed down to the accelerator, and we're going to continue with that pace as moving forward.
You know, Councilman, it's interesting. I've heard you elected officials say this many times. The getting elected isn't the hard work. It's serving after you're elected.
Yes.
That's the hard work.
Yes, yes, no doubt about it. And look, it makes sense. The citizens of Ward 5 are going to say, what are you doing? I've said this in my public life many times. We're blessed to serve in these positions for a finite amount of time. What are we going to do to make a difference? And so with that philosophy moving forward, we don't do this to keep score, but we do have to look back and say, what have we done? Mm-hmm. And then what are we going to do? And if you can honestly look at yourself in the mirror, and this is just a personal conversation you have with yourself, if you can honestly look in the mirror and say, we've made accomplishments and made strides, then you've got to say, what have you been doing?
Yeah. I think with that type of outlook, you're going to be very successful.
Yeah, I believe we will as well. Thank you.
All right. Councilman, shift gears. I love this. You recognize some icons within the community. You posted this on Instagram. Congratulations to Verlia Hogard, our Citizen of the Month. You honored her at a city council meeting. This took place just a few weeks ago. Tell everyone out there who may not know who she is why she's so vital to the community.
Well, she has been engaged in our community for decades. She's lived in our community. She's worked in our community. She worked for the county for a number of years. Very engaged in her different sororities, organizations that help kids and help people in our community. And she's just been a stalwart in our community for many, many, many years, and someone that I've known growing up my entire life, and who actually lives around the corner from me, and I get a chance to interact with her. And it's nice to recognize people. I say this before, people don't do things for recognition, but it's nice to be recognized. And so for her decades of service and her decades to the community that she's lived in, maybe I wanted to do something special and honor her.
Councilman, why did so many people know her? It seems like everybody knows her. Why is that possible?
Well, she worked for the county, and she's done a lot from a professional standpoint, but that didn't stop her when she retired. She's, you look up and Mrs. Hogarth is there, whether it's at a council meeting or whether it's at a community meeting or whether it's some social organization, and she's not shy about telling you where she stands on things. And so once you go through a couple of her
lessons
learned, opportunities learned, then you realize that look, she's making valid points. And I have always said that sometimes the delivery might not be the way I might want it, but if you get down to the core of what they're saying, it makes a lot of sense. So she's active across the spectrum.
Yeah, well, congratulations to her for being our Citizen
congratulations.
Month. And she had a nice contingent of people there to support her.
She did,
so
nice. And it's a definite great tribute towards her.
Good stuff. Well, Councilman, another icon in our community was Judge A.D. Guy. When I first came to Las Vegas 30 plus years ago, he was on the bench, a very prominent judge, well-known judge here, very well respected. And now there's a new knowledge center over on N Street that's named in his honor.
It is. So the A.D. Guy Center has been there. It's been dormant for a number of years, right next to the Agassiz Boys and Girl Club. And we wanted to find a way to reactivate the building itself because it's right in the core of our community. It's right across the street from Marble Manor and serves a lot of kids in our community. So in partnership with the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, with the county, I have to thank Commissioner Lawrence Weekly for spearheading this, with the University of Nevada Cooperative Extension, which has a footprint in every single county in the state. They're one of the only state organizations that do that. We're repurposing this building and turning it into something that's going to be very, very community-oriented. There's going to be STEM research going on there. We're going to bring in kids and teach them about a lot of different things that are happening. And so we're taking a building that's been dormant and vacant and turning it to reactivate it for betterment of the community, for the kids in the community.
Obviously, great facilities there, too. You've
Beautiful.
got computers, and look at that. That's a gorgeous building.
Yeah, I hadn't been inside this building in years. And so when you walked in and you see the vibrancy of the colors and you see the vibrancy of the staff, you know it's going to be something great. And we're looking forward to it to serve the community for decades to come.
Yeah. Councilman, when it first was built, what was its purpose, and then how did it get repurposed?
Yeah, well, it was a community center. As a kid, I used to go there. From summertime, I used to walk there, and all types of different activities after there. For one reason or the other, the building went dormant, and there were talks about even tearing the building down and do something with it, but I know that members of the community didn't want that. They didn't want that iconic building being torn down. They wanted to repurpose it into doing something that could be redistributed back into the community. So working with Commissioner Weekly and working with Co-op Extension, we were able to get this going.
It looks great.
Yeah, it was great. It's just a great partnership with the Housing Authority, the city, the county, University of Nevada, Reno. Just one of those great things that happen. People always want our communities to work together. And whether it's on homelessness, whether it's on workforce, or whether it's on doing something like this. This is a prime example that we can work together and do something positive for our community.
Yeah, there it is. You just saw the video, for sure. Speaking of great facilities, boy, this is awesome. You posted this on Facebook. Discovery Children's Museum has opened a new makerspace exhibit called Discovery Lab. Folks, if you have not been to this facility, you have got to go check it out, especially if you have young ones. This is an amazing museum, and this is a new addition to it.
Yeah, and it's located right down in the heart of Ward 5 at Symphony Park. It's very accessible. It's Discovery Children's Museum has moved into that building. It's probably been there 3, 4, 5 years or so. And they just keep continuing to grow and continue to add more amenities to better the community. This particular makerspace is going to have everything from, as you see, 3D printing that's taking place to more STEM training. It's really something that our community should take advantage of because it's there. And it's also a great way to spend the day, spend some time with your kids in a very safe, fun, and learning environment.
Yeah, a lot of the exhibits there are hands-on, so the kids aren't just looking at things, but they're actually getting to touch and do. And as you see here, you can create 3D products.
Yep. Yep, and it's great. Look, it's a lot of fun. It's a first-class organization run by a first-class group of leaders, and it's just good to see that it's right in the heart of the ward. It's just going to add to everything else. Right next to the Smith Center for Performing Arts, and the Valley Museum of Art's coming right there. Just a great epicenter for culture.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is great facilities down there. So come check it out if you haven't seen it already. It is definitely a place. Give yourself some time because you're going to go in there, your kids are going to go in there and they're not going to want to leave.
No doubt about it.
So it's good stuff. Well, right adjacent to what we're talking about, the Discovery Children's Museum, Robin Leach Lane was just named. This took place back on March 15th, but the street right there next to the Smith Center and the museum is named for Robin Leach. And really, he wasn't a native Las Vegan, but he became an icon here, didn't he, Councilman?
He did. Look, from the first day that he set foot in Las Vegas, I think that he took ownership of the city. And throughout his philanthropic efforts, the city took ownership of him. The lane is located between the Ruvo Brain Center and the Smith Center, and he was a huge advocate for the Brain Center and everything that went on there. Helped them raise a lot of money, was very philanthropic. Anytime that Larry Ruvo called him for something, Larry said that he was always there and willing to help out. And so it's very appropriate that that street is named for him there because of all the work that he's done for the Ruvo Center, for the Smith Center, and for the Cultural Epicenter as a whole. So it's very appropriate. Great to do it. His family was there, and the city of Las Vegas misses him.
It meant a lot to them.
It did. It did, and the city of Las Vegas misses him. Like his voice was iconic throughout the course of even my time with his caviar dreams and champagne delicious.
Right. Yeah, the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Lifestyle of the rich and famous. I got to tell you, I tuned. I think it was on Sunday after that was
before
before there was cable that had 1,000 channels. We only had a few, and that was one of the shows you tuned in and watched on Sunday afternoon.
Also a well-known journalist, covered a lot of celebrities and celebrity issues and things like that. And
his Vegas at its finest.
It was, and he was really plugged into the community.
Yes, he was. We miss him.
Yeah, for sure, no question about it. So, Robin Leach Lane, you'll see it there near the Smith Center and the Ruvo Center if you're down in that area on Symphony Park. Councilman, April 15th, you were out encouraging people to ride the bus, right? That was the idea. This is the RTC bus ride-along. This is pretty cool because you had donuts and coffee and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, well, look, when I was in college in Washington, D.C., I rode the bus. I got around a couple of ways. I walked, I rode my bike, or I rode the public transportation system, whether the bus or the train. And people commute every single day in and out of the ward and throughout the city. And we wanted to just take a day. Actually, we did 2 days, one in the morning, one in the evening, to ride the bus, ride a couple of routes, talk to the bus riders there, and as well as at the Bonneville Transit System to see what's on their mind and see what's going on and kind of get a feel of if the transit system is serving the needs of the community, some things that we might need to improve. I want to thank the RTC for their support and for sending staff along with us because we were able to answer questions directly that the riders had. We didn't have to say, well, let me go back and figure it out. No, RTC staff was there, and we were able to answer questions and get some resolutions to some things.
Councilman, what were you hearing from the passengers, the riders? Were they content with the service? Did they think that things needed to be tweaked, or what did they think?
I have to say, overall, they were very happy with the way that our transit system is run. Many people ride from the northwest part of town to where we are, way out in Ward 5, all the way over to the Strip, let's say to the Excalibur to go to work every single day.
Wow.
We talked to guest room attendants, and they felt that it was adequately run. The issues, obviously, they would love more buses on the routes so they can have more time. But right now I think the RTC is trying to get to a 20-minute wait between each bus, which is pretty good. I can tell you from riding the bus in DC, it's very important that those buses run on time.
Oh, absolutely. Your whole schedule.
Your whole schedule evolved around it, right? You want to get to work on time. You have to go pick up things or shop or go pick up kids and do things. The buses need to be run on time, and that's one of the bigger issues. But I think the buses were very, very clean. They were air conditioned that day. It was a little cool, but climate was great. You know what else I found, which is fantastic? The people are very, very friendly. And you have someone that just walked up to them and say, "Hey, how are you? Do you ride the bus?" And at first they're very skeptical. And then I told them, right, and then I said, I'm the counselor for the Ward 5, and they kind of eased up. But I saw people who were opening doors for the other riders, who were helping women who had a bunch of stuff, get it on board. They didn't know them. Strollers, they would move. A lot of gentlemen who would give up their seats in order for the
That's
females
awesome.
to sit down. And my 2 rides, I noticed that. And it wasn't like a stage. They didn't know what was going on. They did it unbeknownst to what was happening. And I think that's great. It shows you that humanitarianism is not dead in our society.
Yeah, and Las Vegas is a great community.
It is.
You know, so no question about it. I'm not surprised that they were going to have that kind of spirit.
Yeah, it was great to see. And, you know, we always hear about sometimes the negative things, and people are too stressed and road rage that's going on.
Right.
This was not the case in my rides on the bus. People are very friendly and very accommodating towards each other.
So maybe there's a connection there between calmness and not having to drive yourselves.
Maybe. You can text and ride all day long.
Exactly, and read the newspaper, whatever you
listen
want
to
to
music,
do.
no doubt.
Exactly. Good stuff. Councilman, this was awesome. You had your Ward 5 beautification. We love when
Yes.
volunteers step up and help.
Yes.
And this was great. This took place March 16th. You had an army of people come out there and help paint, you know, the red curbs and,
Yes.
the fire hydrants, et cetera, just to help spruce up the community. And we'll provide the tools and the paint and all of that. We just need the brawn, and here we are. We see the people come out, roll up their sleeves, and we really appreciate this kind of help.
Yeah, without a doubt. Look, it was a great morning that we spent right in the historic West Side. We were cleaning up weeds and cleaning up debris, and also repainting the curbs and the fire hydrants so that the fire department could know exactly where to go when there is a need for them, which is great. And I got to thank all the volunteers. We had a number of kids that came out, a number of fraternal organizations and sororities that came out, and it was just great to be in the community. So I want to thank everyone. We're going to plan more of these right in the historic West Side, but as well as out in other parts of the ward as well, because there are areas that need more assistance as well. And so we're going to plan some things moving forward. So it was great.
We had our Strong Start Academy mobile classroom out there as well, and you can see that is a wonderful facility that's on wheels.
Yes, and this has been an overwhelming success. I think the max is supposed to be like 30 kids, and they have like 35 kids or so, or 30 plus kids, I should say, that are participating in the program. That bus is in the historic West Side a couple of days a week, and then it's over on the east side at the new library a couple of days a week as well. And what a great attribute to the Clark County school system is this. We're taking pre-K all the way up to third grade and taking kids and really spending the day with them and teaching them and learning.
Yeah.
What a great environment. And they bring them right into the community. The commute is very small and very short to get in the community when the bus is right there.
Yeah, exactly, Councilman. Good stuff. The group of volunteers, who were they? Were they just folks from the community, or?
Yeah, so there were a lot of kids from our batteries included with our Youth and Innovation Department with Dr. Lisa Morris-Hibbler and her team. We've had some members from the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, aka sorority, the Sigmas, the Zetas, the Kappas, the Omegas were all out there. And then we just had people from the community who showed up.
That's terrific.
That are saying, hey, I'm here, I want to help. And it was a great collaboration that happened with that day. And like I said, we're going to plan more of them.
Yeah. Folks, as I said, we love when people help and volunteer like that, because that is a lot of manpower to bring to bear on sprucing up the community. If you're interested, if you have an organization that would like to help or be part of that, or volunteer, looking for some volunteer hours, at the end of the show, we'll tell you how to contact us. We'd love to hear from you, because we'll put you to work. So
Yes, we will.
no question. Councilman, I love this. You posted this on Instagram. You said, a beautiful new addition to our community and Fire Station 1. If you haven't seen this, folks, this is a mural on the bay doors there, 6 bay doors at Fire Station 1, which is there at Casino Center near US 95. It's work done by an artist named Eric Burke, and the work is called 6 Ways to Draw Attention. Very clever. That's pretty cool art, right on the doors of the fire station.
It is, and it just adds a nice level of beautification to something that is pretty boring, right? The doors are painted one color and no one takes notice of them.
It's just a fire station
let's
door,
just call it
right?
like it is. It's a fire station door. Normally they're just red, and you drive by. But what a great addition to the community and to the beautification of the ward. I drive by here a number of times going home, and so I've seen this a number of times. And someone asked me, what do you like most about it? And I said I like the continuity of from door 1 to door 6 of the story. And I think every time you see it, you see something different.
That's true. Because I drive by that every night going home, and you do see something different.
Yeah, you notice something a little bit different that's there, and kind of, I didn't catch that the next time.
Right.
And so you have to be away from it also in order to see all the 6 doors and how it ties in together. And so when you're driving by, you see it, and then and if you stopped at the light there, you really get a chance to look over and go, okay, let me
exactly.
see
That's it. When you're parked there, you can really see it. That's
so it's
for
great.
Sure.
They did a fantastic job. What an amazing piece of art. Hopefully, we can recreate this in other parts of the city.
I think it's a hit, and I think we're going to see that as well, no question. Councilman, you've worked very hard. You talked about this, putting people to work within the ward. You had a construction career showcase. This took place back on May 7th.
Yes.
The idea was to plug people in with organizations that need workers.
Yes.
Right.
Well, look, this was not necessarily a job fair, although people were hired and got opportunities for jobs. This was a career fair that wanted you to get prepared in order to go to the next step. So if you're going to a construction job, what are the things you need? There's paperwork, there's licensing sure that needs to take place before you even are able to apply for a job. Well, we want to help you everywhere, every step along the way. And this is our first initiative for our Ward 5 Works strategy that we have for workforce in the ward. And we had a great turnout. We had a number of people come through, a number of vendors that were there. And it was great even for the fact that it was raining that day.
Yeah, that's right.
And we had a great turnout. And so I want to thank the Ward 5 Works team that were there who put this together, and just want to thank all of our partners that showed up as well.
That was at the World Market Center in the pavilion.
And thank you to them as well for hosting us. That it was in the tents that were there, and it was a perfect setup for us to be successful. And it was fantastic. We'll continue to have these over the course of time. We have a lot of businesses and industry coming into the ward. You've heard me say this before. We have to get people ready, trained, and prepared to go to work.
Perfect.
We're bringing in businesses, we're bringing in industry, and people have to get prepared and go to work.
Right. Talk a little bit about Ward 5 Works. You mentioned that. Tell us where we are with all of that.
So Ward 5 Works is a comprehensive strategy that we create in order to get people working. Have you heard me say unemployment in Ward 5 is about 15%? Around the city, it's 5%. Around the country, it's less than 4%. So we need to get people working. A lot of citizens and my neighbors are underworked and underwaged. And so we have to get people ready. So Ward 5 Works, the first phase are doing different outreach programs. We're going to have a workforce center, which is going to be located right behind the West Side School at the old Variety site. And that will focus on 3 different areas: construction and trades, the healthcare industry, and also the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. The first phase of that is going to come in. We have a building that's going to be positioned right there, which will be the first stop for all of our STEM training.
That's terrific.
And that's going to be right there. It'll happen right in the ward. You know, the average commute of someone going out to work or to provide education is about a half hour, 45 minutes. Well, we've just limited that to a few minutes. It's going to be right in the ward. You can come right there, and you're going to get trained, and then we're going to help you with job placement as well.
Very good.
Yeah,
I agree. It's an issue that needs to be addressed.
It is.
We got to get it in balance with the rest of the community. And I know you have really put a lot of effort into moving this forward.
Yes, and like I said, look, our foot's been on the accelerator down to the floor, and we'll continue to keep going all the way down to the floor. Right. We won't stop until we get what we need.
All right, and we'll give everybody an update on how we're doing over the next few months
with
that as well. So, I want to tell everybody, Councilman, we're doing a little catch up here because this is your first show since the election cycle. You haven't been on really since back in January.
Wow.
So, you had a great event that took place the Saturday before Easter, the egg hunt, the Armed Forces Chamber egg hunt out at the historic West Side School. And this is a lot of kids, a lot of eggs. And I understand there was actually some eggs that had
money in them.
Yeah, money. Yeah, that's a good one to go to.
Yes, this is a partnership with the Armed Forces and the KCP radio station that came and talked to us about doing it there, and I thought it was a great idea. Well, it's just great to have, once again, have these events in the community. We're going to do our best to try to make the West Side School more open and accessible to the community. We're going to bring in a cafe there and some other businesses. And so this is a great first step to try to get the community inside of the gates and inside of that building, because it is the community's center. And it's great to have the kids there and the people in the community come out and see what's going on there outside of just looking on the outside looking in.
Yeah, that's great. It's interesting when you have a an event like that, it's not just an egg hunt. You know, you've got entertainment out there.
Yeah.
And it's an experience.
It's very, very interactive, and you know, it's great to see. Like I said, the facility is built to do community services and to provide community outreach, and this is just the first step of that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. If you haven't been to the historic West Side School, did a big renovation on that school. It was actually the oldest school in the Clark County school system.
Yes.
And boy, it turned out beautifully.
It did turn out beautifully, and I think that it'll do more as we get going. As I mentioned, our workforce center will be right behind there, and it'll be sort of a continuation of the West Side School that's there, and make the whole area will be our workforce and education sort of area of Ward 5.
Hub.
Yes, and it'll be fantastic.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Councilman, also too, here just recently, back on May 9th, you had your Mother's Day event at Doolittle Community Center. I always love this because this means a lot to a lot of people to have an event like this.
We had, once again, a ton of fun. This year's theme was jeans and bling. So I had on my jeans and I put on a little bling, and we just had a good time. The ladies that were there and the mothers that were there had a fantastic time. We had wonderful entertainment. Lady AK, who, if you hear her on the Breakdown show on KCP Radio on Wednesday nights, is a stand-up comedian. And she was hilarious. Here she goes right there. That's her. That's Lady AK. She was funny and hilarious and got the crowd going. We had great entertainment. The food was great. The conversation was great. The people were great. Lots of fun. Lots of hugs. And just a great way to celebrate our mothers.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yes, very, very well deserved.
So, well, that's awesome, Councilman. Glad that we pulled off again. Yeah, we had great entertainment.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
And last year we did with our elected officials, Tyrone Thompson was the one that organized it and got us all together. We talked about that. We did our version of the Temptations.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right. I forgot about that.
Our
That's
version of the
right. That's
Temptations.
good stuff.
It was myself, Kelvin Atkinson, Commissioner Weekly, Assemblyman Tyrone Thompson, Assemblyman McCurdy.
I remember.
And I like to say that we really put it down. We were good.
No contracts after that, though. No entertainment guys.
Yeah. Nobody called us and asked us to go on the strip.
Yeah,
but
we need you to perform for
we
us,
did great for the Doolittle Senior Center. Awesome.
Hey, it's a start.
Yes.
Well, Councilman, great show here. That was a lot of topics, and we've made it through it here. But
man,
I want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with Councilman Crear, you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. And as you saw, he's very active on Instagram, too. If you leave a comment, we may use your post on our next show. And you can always contact the councilman just by picking up the phone, 702-229-6405, or send him an email at ccrear, that's C-R-E-A-R, at lasvegasnevada.gov. Well, welcome back. It's
Thank
good
you.
To have you. Good to have you
great
here.
to be here.
It's been a long hiatus, so good to have you back again.
Yes.
You hit the ground running. You didn't miss a beat.
We didn't. Look, the work of the ward didn't stop because we were running for re-election. We've been moving ever since, and we'll continue to move.
Well, on this show, too, it's like riding a bike. You just got on and took off. So.
Thank you.
Good stuff. We'll see you in 6 weeks again,
all right,
Councilman. And we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning on May 30th with Ward 6 City Councilwoman Michelle Fiore. You can catch all of our KCLV shows now on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.